I'll begin by shedding light on my father-daughter relationship, pivotal in understanding the subsequent events. My upbringing was primarily overseen by my father, given my mother's prolonged illness, which confined her to bed rest. The burden of care fell upon my father, who devotedly tended to both my mother and me. Despite my profound love for my mother, it was my father with whom I shared a particularly close bond. Tragically, my mother passed away when I was 12, a profound loss that left an indelible mark on my life. Yet, my father remained steadfast in his commitment to me, continuing to provide unwavering support and guidance. Upon my graduation and subsequent employment, my father expressed a desire to return to his familial roots and manage his father's farm, a venture I wholeheartedly supported. His decision stemmed from a lifetime of selflessness, having dedicated himself to caring for my mother and me. Recognizing his need for respite and the familial duty he bore, I encouraged him to embark on this new chapter of his life. For the past several years, my father has resided on the farm alongside my grandparents, his brother, and his brother's family. The farm's prosperity has afforded him a comfortable existence, although few beyond myself are privy to this knowledge. Now, shifting focus to my fiancé, our paths crossed 3 years ago at a mutual friend's wedding, where his persistent flirtations eventually led to our courtship. After 3 years together, he proposed, and I accepted. Our impending nuptials, however, have been cast into doubt following a recent incident involving my fiancé and my father. Throughout our relationship, my fiancé and my father have enjoyed an amicable rapport, with occasional interactions during my father's visits to the city or our joint trips to the farm. However, a few days ago, my father forwarded me a troubling text from my fiancé. In it, my fiancé informed my father that his presence, along with his family's, was no longer required at the wedding due to purported financial concerns. The text suggested that their attendance was deemed costly, prompting my fiancé to arrange a separate private ceremony at a later date, excluding my father and his family from the main event. The revelation of this text has left me grappling with a myriad of emotions: confusion, disbelief, and profound disappointment. To witness such callous disregard for my father, who has sacrificed so much for my well-being, is incomprehensible. The rift caused by this incident has cast a shadow over the impending wedding, prompting a re-evaluation of my relationship with my fiancé and the values upon which it is built. He argued that he was merely trying to alleviate the financial strain on us, albeit in a misguided manner. However, his justification failed to mollify my indignation. I couldn't fathom how he could prioritize financial considerations over the emotional significance of my father's presence at our wedding. Despite his attempts to rationalize his actions, I remained steadfast in my conviction that his behavior was unacceptable. His decision to unilaterally exclude my father from our wedding, without consultation or consideration for my feelings, revealed a concerning lack of empathy and integrity. It was a stark betrayal of the trust and mutual respect essential for any partnership. Moreover, the revelation that my father had been quietly shouldering the financial burden of our wedding further compounded my dismay. His selfless gesture, undertaken with love and generosity, was callously disregarded by my fiancé. It was a profound disappointment, shaking the foundations of trust upon which our relationship was built. In the aftermath of this revelation, I found myself grappling with a profound sense of disillusionment. The disparity between my fiancé's actions and the values I held dear left me questioning the viability of our relationship. How could I commit to a future with someone who displayed such blatant disregard for my family and the principles guiding our union? As I grapple with the ramifications of my fiancé's actions, I am acutely aware of the broader implications for our relationship. The breach of trust and betrayal of familial bonds have left an indelible mark on our connection, calling into question the very foundation upon which we sought to build our future together. The rift that now divides us is not merely a result of one isolated incident, but rather a culmination of underlying issues that have long simmered beneath the surface. It is a testament to the fragility of trust and the importance of open communication in sustaining a healthy and harmonious partnership. As I sift through the fragments of our shattered plans, I am confronted with a stark reality. Our relationship was built on shaky ground, fraught with underlying tensions and unresolved conflicts. The revelation of my fiancé's deceit serves as a sobering reminder of the need for transparency and authenticity in all interpersonal relationships. Moving forward, I am compelled to reassess my priorities and redefine my expectations for a fulfilling and enriching partnership. While the prospect of untangling myself from this entanglement may seem daunting, I am emboldened by the knowledge that I deserve a relationship founded on mutual respect, trust, and unwavering support. In the wake of this upheaval, I find solace in the unwavering support of my father and the strength of familial bonds that endure even in the face of adversity. Though the path ahead may be uncertain, I am determined to navigate it with grace and resilience, guided by the principles of honesty, integrity, and self-respect. Moreover, his reaction to my revelation about my father's sponsorship of the wedding further underscores the fragility of our relationship. Instead of acknowledging his misjudgment and seeking reconciliation, he resorted to blame shifting and deflection, placing the onus of responsibility squarely on my shoulders. The aftermath of my fiancé's actions has plunged me into a maelstrom of conflicting emotions and introspection. I find myself wrestling with the dissonance between the idyllic vision of our future together and the harsh reality of his deceit and betrayal. The revelation of his clandestine communications and unilateral decisions has shattered the illusion of trust and transparency that I once held dear. In its place lingers a pervasive sense of disillusionment and apprehension, casting a pall over the prospect of salvaging our relationship. Despite my fervent desire to salvage what remains of our bond, I am confronted with the stark realization that the very fabric of our partnership has been irreparably frayed. The absence of open dialogue and mutual understanding has left us adrift in a sea of uncertainty, our shared dreams of a harmonious future now tinged with doubt and mistrust. As I grapple with the fallout of his actions, I am compelled to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of our relationship. Is love enough to sustain us in the absence of honesty and integrity? Can we rebuild what has been broken? Or is it time to acknowledge the inherent fissures in our foundation? In the midst of this tumult, I am reminded of the importance of prioritizing my own emotional well-being. While the prospect of untangling myself from this entanglement may seem daunting, I am bolstered by the unwavering support of my loved ones and the strength of my own resolve. Though the road ahead may be fraught with uncertainty, I am committed to charting a course that aligns with my values and aspirations. Whether that entails salvaging our relationship through honest dialogue and introspection or embarking on a new chapter of self-discovery and growth, one thing remains certain: I refuse to compromise my integrity or sacrifice my happiness for the sake of salvaging a relationship that is built on a foundation of deceit. This predicament has left me in a state of disarray, questioning my culpability in this intricate web of events. Was I misguided in my attempt to orchestrate a pleasant surprise for my fiancé, or was his reaction an exaggerated response to a well-intentioned gesture? The comments and insights shared by others have shed light on the dynamics at play, revealing subtle nuances that had eluded my perception until now. As I delve deeper into the complexities of our relationship dynamics, I cannot help but ponder the extent to which my fiancé's actions have been driven by a desire to maintain control and dominance. The manipulation inherent in his gaslighting tactics serves as a stark reminder of the power dynamics at play within our relationship. In grappling with the fallout of his deceit, I am confronted with a profound sense of betrayal and disillusionment. The realization that I may have been manipulated into doubting my own perceptions and emotions is both disconcerting and deeply unsettling. Moreover, the discrepancy between his purported concerns about wedding expenses and his unilateral decision to exclude my father from the guest list raises troubling questions about his true motivations. Was his primary objective to cut costs, or was there a deeper underlying agenda at play? As I seek to untangle the web of lies and manipulation that has ensnared our relationship, I am acutely aware of the importance of asserting my own agency and reclaiming control over my narrative. No longer will I allow myself to be gaslight into submission or silenced by his passive-aggressive tactics. In the absence of genuine remorse or accountability on his part, I am left with no choice but to confront the harsh reality of our situation. The foundation of trust upon which our relationship was built has been irreparably fractured, leaving me with no option but to reassess my priorities and pursue a path that aligns with my values and principles. Though the road ahead may be fraught with uncertainty and challenges, I am determined to emerge from this ordeal stronger and more resilient than ever before. With the unwavering support of my loved ones and a steadfast commitment to my own well-being, I am confident that I will ultimately find peace and fulfillment, regardless of the outcome of our relationship. As I navigate this tumultuous period of introspection and reassessment, I am confronted with a stark realization: our relationship may no longer be sustainable in its current state. While reconciliation remains a possibility, it cannot come at the cost of my self-respect and emotional well-being. In the absence of genuine remorse and a willingness to address underlying issues, I am compelled to prioritize my own needs and aspirations. Whether this entails reassessing the future of our relationship or embarking on a new path altogether, one thing remains clear: my journey towards self-discovery and empowerment has only just begun. Upon deep reflection, I have reached a definitive conclusion: the wedding is off. It is a decision born not out of haste, but rather from a thorough examination of the events that have transpired and the character of my fiancé that has been laid bare before me. In the aftermath of our tumultuous fallout, my fiancé's conspicuous absence and lack of effort to reconcile have only served to reaffirm my resolve. His silence speaks volumes, echoing the sentiment that his pride and self-interest outweigh any semblance of integrity or compassion. The realization that our relationship has been marred by manipulation and deceit is a bitter pill to swallow. Yet, in this moment of clarity, I find solace in the knowledge that I have not committed myself to a lifetime of regret and disillusionment. Confronting my fiancé with my decision to call off the wedding was met with a feeble attempt to salvage what remained of our relationship. His contrived excuses and hollow apologies rang hollow, exposing the depths of his deceit and insincerity. In his desperate attempts to deflect blame and justify his actions, he unwittingly revealed the true nature of our relationship, a facade built on shifting sands of manipulation and deception. As I bid farewell to the illusion of love and partnership that once held sway over my heart, I am filled with a sense of liberation. The road ahead may be fraught with uncertainty, but I take comfort in the knowledge that I have chosen truth and integrity over falsehood and manipulation. Though the past 3 years may feel like a lost chapter in the narrative of my life, I am grateful for the clarity that has emerged from this painful ordeal. With each passing day, I move closer to a future untethered by the constraints of deceit and manipulation, guided by the unwavering light of self-respect and authenticity. It became glaringly evident to him that his actions had crossed a line of no return. He grappled with the realization that his behavior was not only inexcusable but also counterproductive in salvaging any semblance of our relationship. Attempting to engage in further argumentation seemed futile, for I had grown impervious to his manipulative tactics. In a feeble attempt to deflect blame, he sought to shift the focus onto my own transgressions, highlighting my omission regarding the true financier of our wedding. However, his efforts to cast aspersions upon me were met with resolute resistance. I refused to succumb to his gaslighting tactics, fortified by a newfound clarity that had liberated me from the shackles of love blinded by manipulation. With each passing day, it became increasingly apparent that his disrespect and disregard for me knew no bounds. The dissolution of our engagement marked the beginning of a new chapter fraught with its own set of challenges, chief among them being the issue of financial responsibility for the cancellation charges. His audacious expectation that I bear the brunt of the financial burden for a wedding rendered untenable by his own actions was met with staunch opposition. I adamantly maintained that the onus lay squarely on his shoulders, for it was his egregious behavior that precipitated the need for cancellation. Despite his persistent attempts to sway my decision, I remained steadfast in my resolve to sever ties and reclaim agency over my life. His refusal to acknowledge the gravity of his actions only served to reinforce my conviction that parting ways was the only viable course of action. As he vacated the premises in a bid to assert his magnanimity, I was left to ponder the path forward, liberated from the oppressive weight of his presence. While the road ahead may be fraught with uncertainty, I find solace in the knowledge that I have reclaimed ownership of my life and embraced the prospect of a future untethered by manipulation and deceit. Currently, I find myself in a state of relief, liberated from the oppressive dynamics of my former relationship. Even as I compose this response, I receive a text from him, laden with apologies and promises of reform. However, the sentiments conveyed therein fail to resonate with me. The emotional landscape between us has undergone a profound transformation, irreversibly altered by the stark revelations of his behavior. No amount of remorse or pledges of improvement can restore the reverence I once held for him. The veil has been lifted, revealing the toxicity and self-serving nature that underscored our relationship. I can no longer feign ignorance to the glaring deficiencies that characterized our dynamic. Though parting ways is undoubtedly bittersweet, the prospect of continuing to subject myself to his manipulation and disregard is untenable. As we navigate the logistical aftermath of canceling the wedding, it has become imperative to establish a fair distribution of financial obligations. With only a fortnight remaining until the scheduled date, prompt resolution is paramount to mitigate escalating cancellation charges. As I navigate the aftermath of our broken engagement, I find myself confronting a myriad of emotions and practical considerations. While the dissolution of our relationship has brought a sense of liberation, it has also necessitated a reckoning with the logistical complexities and emotional fallout. In the wake of my ex-fiancé's unreasonable demands and attempts at manipulation, I am compelled to assert my own agency and advocate for a fair and equitable resolution. The notion of shouldering the financial burden of the cancellation alone is patently unjust, a fact that I refuse to overlook in my pursuit of closure. Fortunately, the begrudging cooperation of my ex-fiancé's family in sharing the cancellation costs provides a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. While their motives may be self-serving, their compliance offers a pragmatic solution to a fraught situation, sparing me further financial strain and emotional distress. Their subsequent disparagement of my character serves as a sobering reminder of the biases and prejudices that often lurk beneath the surface of familial relationships. The abrupt shift from cordiality to condemnation underscores the imperative of severing ties definitively, reaffirming my resolve to extricate myself from toxic influences. As I chart a course forward, I am guided by a steadfast commitment to my own well-being and autonomy. Though the road ahead may be fraught with challenges and uncertainties, I draw strength from the newfound clarity and resilience that have emerged from this tumultuous chapter of my life. In embracing the opportunity for growth and self-discovery, I am determined to forge a path that aligns with my values and aspirations. Through introspection and introspection, I am confident that I will emerge from this ordeal stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Them all now, and I'm trying to move past this to the best of my abilities. My dad is still flying down to see me, though I'd kept him in the loop about what was going on, and he's kind of disappointed in my ex-fiance's conduct has left me disheartened, yet simultaneously relieved that I've evaded a union with such an emotionally immature individual. His actions have exposed a character flaw that I am unwilling to accommodate in a lifelong partner. However, amidst the turmoil, there is a glimmer of solace in the unwavering support of my father. With his backing, I find the strength to confront the aftermath of this ordeal. In a gesture of goodwill, my ex-fiancé has pledged to transfer the entirety of the wedding funds to me. Additionally, he proposes a family vacation to a destination of my choosing, seeking to assuage the distress caused by his actions. While these overtures may offer some semblance of reconciliation, I remain resolute in my decision to part ways. With the assurance of my father's support, I feel empowered to navigate the complexities of this situation. His unwavering presence serves as a beacon of stability amidst the chaos wrought by my ex-fiance's actions. As I prepare to engage in face-to-face dialogue with my father, I am filled with a sense of anticipation, eager to seek counsel and solace in his wisdom. As this chapter draws to a close, I am reminded of the resilience inherent within me. Though the road ahead may be fraught with challenges, I am determined to emerge stronger and more resilient than before. Join me as I embark on a journey of self-discovery and healing, poised to embrace the future with renewed optimism and fortitude.